Hey guys, welcome to Chai with Startup CEOs. This is our very first episode. So today we're actually speaking to a Dubai-based entrepreneur. His name is Mohammed Azhar Sajan, and he is the CEO of Casa Milano. They're sort of revolutionizing the luxury market out here in the UAE. It's going to be really interesting. It's not your traditional startup, I do agree, but then I believe that there's sort of something special about the luxury category out here in the Middle East that is still relatively untapped. And if you're really able to capture that, I think it would be really an interesting set of propositions. So I'm going to pick Azhar's brain over some karak about what that looks like. So yeah, really excited to catch up with him. It's the first time I'm going to visit his store. So yeah, really excited for everything, and hope you guys stay tuned. We're going to be talking virtual reality. We're going to be talking about sort of e-commerce and how that's impacting his business, and COVID, and of course, just what being a first-time CEO looks like in this time. So yeah, stay tuned. Welcome to the first ever episode of Chai with Startup CEOs, and like I mentioned earlier, today I wanted to focus on Dubai-based entrepreneurs from home, people I know and people I know that are crushing it, right? So my first guest today is Azhar Sajan. He was on the cricket team in high school and kept me on the bench, so this is revenge for that. Now just sitting across side by side CEOs. Let's see what's happening.
Pretty much on the bench all the time. That's such rubbish. No, I wish. No.
Yeah,
you're always a better cricketer.
No, I don't think so.
I play indoor cricket more, to be very honest. I'm good there.
Don't you own a cricket team or something like that? Yeah.
Let's
okay,
not
cool.
go there.
I mean, if you can't beat them, you buy them. No?
That's the good motto.
But then, it's just so nice to actually, you see a bunch of different young people essentially becoming CEOs and things like that, and you go okay, what's really behind that? And that's what I really want to unpack here and sort of understand what goes on the day-to-day with Azhar. And I think it's going to take a second to just sort of tell you what Casa Milano is all about. So Azhar, do you want to just give me?
Hi everyone, my name is Azhar Sajan. I am the director/CEO of Casa Milano, you could say that. What Joel said, I'm supposed to be explaining Casa Milano. What I used to explain before is that we have sanitary ware and tiles in this showroom. That's what I'm supplying here with many big brands across the world, mostly from Europe. But now, in the last 3-4 weeks, I'm actually telling people this ain't a bathroom store anymore, because that's what goes in the bathroom, tiles and sanitary ware. But now, Casa Milano is not just providing the luxurious sanitary ware and tiles, we're also having parquet, wood flooring, landscaping and swimming pool services, and hopefully a very, very new division going to be coming up very soon. Stay tuned, I might reveal something, I may not.
Yeah, okay, that's going to keep people watching. Thanks. My YouTube watch time just went up. He knows what he's talking about,
Yes.
But yeah, I think it was interesting. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, why pick Casa Milano as sort of the first startup that we're going to be talking about, and is it a startup, right? When you think about startups, you think about companies that are capturing new markets, that are growing extremely fast. Casa Milano is 1 year old for everyone's context, and they've dealt with COVID. They've managed to stay afloat and sort of come out on top of it. And now, as you heard, Azhar's expanding that line into several different product categories and things like that. So it's super exciting times, and if you look at sort of the luxury market itself, by the way, this chai is really, really good. So it was in Nawaz.
Thank you, Nawaz.
Yeah, thank you, Nawaz. And also behind the camera is Neelam, who is a legend. So thank you, Neelam, for being with us. And so on the luxury market, the UAE itself is at a couple $2 billion in terms of market size in the luxury space. What bit of that do you want to capture, and you see sort of like the compounded annual growth rate of about 8%? You probably haven't heard that word since business school, but then how do you think you're going to be able to accelerate?
Like you said, it's 8% right now. One day I hope to capture all of it. If I'm being very modest, I'm kidding. But in this section, I'll give you a little bit brief about how we started and got into the luxury business, because 8% of it is huge. They have different products in it. And what I realized a couple of years ago, that the market is missing this gap. They have this gap right now for luxury sanitary ware and cars. Because when I was building my uncle's house, we were all building it together as a family business. We were lost. We had no idea what to do. And coming from a construction background family, we were like, okay, we need to get some fancy stuff because we can afford it. And we went around the market, but we weren't happy with what we saw. We weren't happy with the service, we weren't happy with the products, we weren't happy with the designs, whatnot, so many things. So we ended up actually traveling around the world, because this was going to be a statement of a house. Like, this is the house. And we traveled around the world, and one day at dinner this came up, that there is a market to fill, and people like me, people like my uncle, people like my dad, they're willing to invest in such products at the right price, with the right service. And that's how we started this. And one day, we just, like Mr. Joel said, we're like a year old. I would consider it a startup as well. One day I hope to contribute a lot more into this 8%. 8% will definitely increase to 10, maybe 15 over the next few years. So I really hope to have, in the luxury segment, in a specific category of construction, at least a big chunk of it, and I hope to be part of that.
Yeah, that's it. I think, talk about finding different ways to find your problems. Sitting around dinner table and like, oh shit, like my bathroom's like, it's gonna be like the shit.
It is, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It was funny enough, when I talk about it now, I feel like, okay, only I have this problem.
Yeah.
But when I started the store, when it picked up marketing, finance, everything, all of the things I did to bring Casa Milano name out, I realized, oh my God, there's so many people on a daily basis with their lives dealing like, oh, I need to change my bathroom, or I need to change my decor, I need to change my tiles.
Yeah.
Imagine, it's hilarious. I was like, who does that?
Yeah, and it's what
But it is. After all that market research, you do realize there is an insane gap for this in the market, and I want to fill it and complete it.
That's and I think it's also about how seamlessly you manage to do something like that, right? Like you said, you have to sort of travel all around scout. You don't want to be doing that when ideally you don't want to be like going all over the world to sort of figure it out.
It is a headache. Yeah. Okay, the world is definitely getting smaller, but in order to get what you want, you have to do what it takes, and that's what we did for the house as well, and that's how we started this. And how we started Casa Milano was we had to travel once again to find the right partners to work with. I wouldn't want to call them suppliers anymore. They're actually on a day-to-day basis with me on phone, checking up on me, and they're seeing how the business is doing, what they can do to support us and stuff like that. They're very good people. Most of the products are from Europe and the US.
Yeah. And so, Azhar, how old are you?
I'm 23.
He's 23. He's talking about the suppliers as partners, as all corporate CEOs would they're best buddies, all that stuff. But it's not easy to facilitate those relationships, right? Like, you think,
there isn't.
Yeah, you have to sort of set up those individual connections, and you don't know who's shady and who's not. Like, how do you?
I'll tell you what. My first meeting, I went with my general manager because a little bit of experience. By the way, any startup, anyone tells you they did it by themselves, it's a lie.
I agree.
Nobody is a one-man show. It should never be a one-man show. The team is what makes you strong, and that's what I believe in 100%. If my team is not there, I don't exist. I'm very clear on these things with my.
Literally, if Neelam's not here, this does not exist.
This does not exist.
She
manages my life right now, I think. Sorry, Mom.
She's not gonna be happy with that.
No worries. But in the beginning, I would really say, when I went to meet these people for the first time, nobody took me seriously. One is not just because of the age. I really had a beard to keep all of that. Nobody realized my age then. But people will not take you seriously unless you actually show some results. And we were serious about it because there were a lot of people already dealing in the market, right? But they were not, I wouldn't say I realized when I entered those shops myself, I would say I wasn't getting the right service. I walk in now to any other competitive store, I'm just going to be standing there and being lost. Here I make sure that's a different case. I always tell my team one thing, I don't care what happens. If the customer is going to walk out without buying nothing, it's okay as long as he is happy with what service he got. And that's clear with me. So, but yeah, they never took me seriously in the beginning. And once we had to prove it and convince them, like, look, this ain't a joke. I'm serious about this. We set up the store, we called them, we made a very fancy opening. We had Kareem Rashid, the industrial designer, he's very renowned all around the world. We even had Furniture Lamborghini as a second opening. And he's third generation Lamborghini family. So we were serious, we called our family, we called our friends, we called our partners from all around the world to witness that this is serious business. We're here to make something happen and to not take control but add value.
Yeah, absolutely. And sort of hustling your way through all of those things, I think, is extremely important. Because it's one thing to say, oh, I got, Kareem to come down and open the store for us, like, amazing. But then what goes into that? I mean, he's probably got several other engagements that he could possibly be a part of.
But he was very nice, by the way. Like, I thought he was going to speak for 15 minutes and like bounce, but he actually stayed there for an hour, meeting people, taking pictures, chatting with me. Sure, I called him, but like he was chatting with me, explaining like, this is, the future is something. What I made, what is happening, what around the world, all of that he was discussing with me. Like I'm an equal to him. Like
there we go. I think the most successful people are sort of like humbled in the fact that any day someone from the back end could just come, like whether they're 23, 46, whatever, what's the next thing? Like whether they'll be like 16, anyways, let's not question my math here, right?
You're good at math, come on. I was horrible at it.
But essentially, like, they never do sort of up in their pride to think that no one could outcompete them or anything like that. And that's exactly what I think I see in sort of Kareem as well, like, super humble, chatting with you as usual. Now, we're sitting in your showroom where there's a lot of drilling happening, so I apologize for that sound in the background.
If something's happening in the showroom, it's because we're always changing up the things. We're in the luxury business, but I have to take a little bit from fast fashion as well, because everything, everyone just eats up content. So I need to show something new every probably 6 months.
Keep changing things up.
And in the last 2 years, probably, I've realized so many mistakes I've probably made in the year, and I'm here to rectify them.
Awesome.
So all of these, you see construction going on, maybe something's not working out, why is it not working out? All these things I figured out while being in the showroom. So I have to always have something going on in the store. It may remove the luxury aspect of it. Oh my God, there's construction material around. No. But I feel like, okay, that's something, building up something new.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, like, this is your retail, your one showroom that you've got over here, and it's a brick and mortar sort of thing, right? But you've said in several interviews that that's not it, right? That's not it for Casa Milano. You want to be an e-commerce kind of facilitated kind of thing as well. So tell us a little bit more about that.
I'll tell you what, because what happened, I realized, specifically in the lockdown, actually, that stores closed. 3 weeks. No business. Imagine a startup, like, okay, it's disclaimer, I wouldn't call this exactly a startup, but luckily it is a new venture for my family and I'm responsible for it with my team. So yes, it's a newborn baby, you have to take care of it. As good as a startup. Sure, every startup gets some funding, every startup does not, but all of the headaches of a startup we actually did go through. So yes, technically it is a startup. But 3 weeks, showroom is shut. You have a digital presence, you have an Instagram profile, you have a website, but I'm not getting anything out of it. But I did, in lockdown, I started managing the Instagram account with my marketing team every single day. And what we realized, no matter how many people tell me no, that it isn't required because it's not such a market for it, because this is a product nobody buys online. But I'm looking at the long-term vision aspect of it, that we need to be ready for the next 10 years. That e-commerce is a thing. Everyone, Amazon stock went up that time. Noon.com was running. There's so many deliveries, Zomato, all the logistical apps, you could say, like, deliveries were happening. Everything that people were buying online, they had to live, right?
Yeah.
So I've realized that this is important to have an e-commerce setup I am working towards it. It's taking a very long time.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's not easy. Look at the size of these things. I mean, can you quickly just show what the size of these different things out here look like?
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's not exactly getting groceries in the mail, right?
Like, it isn't. And
so,
to get the right technical details, the specifications, I would say, the proper pictures, all the FAQs you want to answer, it's very difficult, I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd rather take my time and be ready when it has to be ready. It may not bring me business immediately, but I would say next 10 years down the line, people are going to thank me that this happened in the company. People may find me crazy right now, but yes, I think it's an important
I think we are all a little bit crazy, otherwise we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. But on the sort of, I mean, normally my advice would be like, oh yeah, fail fast, like, you know, put out your product, iterate, see what happens. But then in this particular context, in the luxury category, there's very thin room for sort of like disappointing people, I would say, right? Like once you lose their business once, then that's about it. Like you're written off in their books. So,
that did happen actually a couple of times. So I learned from my mistakes. We got into customer development, or you know, taking care of customer complaints to make it much more easier to understand. And it may look like, okay, there's very little complaints for the fact that they get solved now. Like, okay, one day delivery came late. Oh, this is the wrong color. Could be anything. Like, oh, nobody came to meet me in 2 seconds. Could be anything on the planet. So we have now a dedicated team for it, which I'm converting into something else soon. It's work in progress. But it took a while for all of these things because I believe it's on-the-job training for me as well. Because I was working and studying at the same time. So this was on-the-job training for me. Whatever is happening is real life, and whatever I learned in a book, I was able to apply a little bit here and there, and vice versa. I was like, oh, I understand what the book is telling me. Because I was never a
I don't think most
person.
people get that opportunity.
I'm lucky that way. I would definitely say that because I got to start early, and I hope to take it wherever I can, to the next level, to the next height, whatever. But all these things I realized in the beginning itself. Like there's so many things that in the beginning I made mistakes with. Oh no, I thought this would work. No, it didn't. Like you said, there's a thin line. But in the end, I've realized that if you don't make these mistakes, you're never gonna know. I would rather make the mistake now and be happy later.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing about younger CEOs. I feel like they're not afraid about talking about sort of making these mistakes. Whereas I feel like at least at your corporate banking kind of level, I don't think they're as willing to sort of admit mistakes and be like, oh, we've learned from it, we've improved from it. This is extremely transparent for you to see right now. So we were talking about sort of retail experiences, and obviously revitalizing retail has been like the focus of the region because, well, retail is prime to this economy. So yeah, so how does things like virtual reality, for instance, play? I saw like a bathtub in the front, for instance. Like, yeah, ideally I'd like to go and sit in it, but am I going to do that? I probably not. So how can
People
I
have secretly, to be very honest.
I saw that one of the blogs, this guy, Mo Blogs, So like, he went and sort of sat in the thing. I was like, who do you think you are? I mean, just kidding. But anyways, so how do you sort of see implementing something like VR, or is there something else that you're looking for?
I was looking at AR in the beginning, actually, augmented reality. But I realized it's not the time for it yet. Because I was starting up, it was I had to look at the costs and expenses to it. I had to see if I had enough things to show. Because in AR, you require a lot of technology. You require a lot of time to see if it's going to be applicable to this place. In the beginning, I did probably 6 months for it. And in the end, I stopped. Because I wasn't sure if it's going to be ready. Or is this economy ready for this specific type of region? I think e-commerce, absolutely. So the next best thing I actually did in terms of VR is got the virtual 360 of the entire showroom, so that people can visit it. Now I'm working on filling up all the information on it by using the tags they have. So step by step, I may get into VR. My team has brought up VR into question because they've seen it around. But me showing a gimmick, I'm not interested. Like, what's it gonna? The functionality. Like, okay, maybe I could probably show a fancy customer this, and you can see what it is. But in this business, I still believe seeing is believing. Yes, I'm contradicting myself in a way that, okay, I have a brick and mortar store and I want to go to e-commerce, but I need to be ready for the future as well. So I'm taking those steps, step by step, I would say. From seeing is believing to having an e-commerce digital presence with my Instagram, with all the other platforms. I use TikTok a lot.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I get all my TikTok feedback from Azhar basically. He's like, yeah, this could have been better. But like on the,
I think you're doing a great job for what you're doing, to be very honest.
But like, so, on this adoption curve that we're talking about, the tech adoption curve, right? Virtual reality is still relatively nascent, I would say.
Very new.
Yeah, so things like logistics startups that are, doing like these on-demand deliveries and stuff like that took till now to essentially reach the level it has.
And I think COVID is one of the reasons why it works.
Yeah.
People got used to it.
It's like the global CTO that finally did something that was like, needed by everyone.
So I will get into VR, AR, when the time is right. So probably when I set up the digital presence, like I know I'm there. Everyone can just view whatever they want to, see and feel the product how they want to. Then probably I will get into this. But I would say right now, I'm lying if I'm going to do it tomorrow.
Very absolutely. And like, we have to hit it just at when that adoption curve is peaking, right? Like when the cost of it has come down to an extent where it makes sense for you to jump into something like that.
Yes, absolutely. Because it is a cost for me. I have to look at the ROI I'm going to get out of it and the maintenance. I don't think it's going to be so much, to be very honest, ROI, especially now. Because I only have one store. And I'm only targeting UAE market. So people, by the way, even taking PCR tests coming all the way from Abu Dhabi are coming to the stores. I really don't need to do that.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, that happens. 50% of the people are coming from Abu Dhabi. They're like, yeah, we saw your ad, we're coming to buy it. MashaAllah.
Wow, amazing.
It's happening.
No one's coming to see me from Abu Dhabi. Where are you guys at?
I've been to Abu Dhabi a few times now because of this. And hopefully soon, by the way, this is the first place I'm actually introducing it. Well, you're very lucky, by the way. We're going to be opening our second store. In Abu Dhabi, in Mustafa, very soon. And I would say, in the next coming months, you'll see something happening. And it's going to be much bigger than this and much, much more better. Because I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm still fixing my mistakes here, but I'm getting ready to show something beautiful there. And I might definitely send you an invite.
Okay. And a card. And a card. Because I have to ask my mom otherwise.
She's invited too.
She's invited too. Awesome. Okay. I'll mind about that.
But seriously, this is the news for me in the last week or two to finally sign the contract. So it's going to be happening.
So proud of you, man. Like, I mean, this is huge, right? Like, I'm seeing this guy after
years.
Several years, right? I think I caught you once in like the Threads store or something like that. Threads is like flying school uniform kind of store. And it's been that long, and sort of to see your growth and sort of your journey here is like amazing. I'm really proud of it.
It's been a crazy journey, the last 3 years I would say. Because from 2018 is when the idea actually came in. 2019 we actually started the store. And we're in 2021 right now, so 2018 to 2021, like, still running. It's been a crazy journey because I've learned so many things, and personally, in terms of business, who's real, who's not real, every aspect of it. And it's funny, I feel like, oh wow, I've already seen the world, but there's always something new coming.
Let me stop you on the real people thing. I think that's important because you meet a lot of people that are in it for transactional purposes oftentimes.
Absolutely.
And like, you got to figure out who's coming from the right place, right? So when you think about all these things and managing people, right? Tell me about your first hire and why you decided to sort of go with that first person. What was going on in your mind when you chose them?
First hire. Okay, so I was also very new to the hiring process. Like, I've seen interviews in the past few years, how they're taken. So I'll tell you, my first hire was the showroom manager.
Okay.
His name is Atiyah. He was showroom manager, so we met him. So it was two people taking the interview, me and my general manager, because we were in this together on everything. So he looks at one aspect of it, I look at one aspect of it, and we have a synchronization. So I was like, okay, before this interview, I was pretty nervous about taking the interview. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask these questions. If you see me like, fall or something like that, just take over if you need. I came in, I asked a few questions. I know this story, what he thinks, how that interview went down, because he's like, who's this guy? I don't know him. He's too, he looks very like,
he's not the guy.
I've never met him before.
Who's the boss? Show me the boss.
It happened many times. So I asked whatever questions I wanted to, and luckily, I thought first interviews will go bad. This was a really good interview because he was the right guy for me to hire.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've had interviews where I'm like, dude, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
But not to make any fun about it. It was just like I was laughing after that. What just happened?
Yeah.
And but this interview went off really well in terms of what I wanted to hear, what type of market this is, how he has been performing in the last few years, and how he could add benefit to my company. And yeah,
awesome.
We're doing really well. He's here, he's running the showroom, and we speak about a lot of things. Of course, he has way more experience in this.
Yeah.
He's older than me, he's been in the market for longer, but I've never had that issue anymore.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of startup companies have this issue because I genuinely did. I wouldn't even say that. It's about the respect. Like you said, I'm 23. Imagine who's going to listen to a 23-year-old?
Right. Hiring someone older than you.
Yeah, hiring someone older than you, like who's been in the market for probably 10 years. I've had people, tell me like this is a problem. My own cousin told me that nobody will take you seriously.
Yeah.
And how do you make your mark? But I was always lucky, I would say, that people took me seriously, not because of who I am or anything, because I'm here to do something. I'm not here to waste my time. I'm investing some money. And I still make fun of the fact that every interview later, somebody asks me like how old I am. I actually do tell my real age and they just like lose their minds and then leave. It happened many times. I take it as an entertainment out of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, the respect and taking seriously. That's why sometimes I kept the beard as well.
Yeah.
Now I just keep it for the fashion sense of it. But
I don't think you'd look that great without a beard.
So many women have told me that. And my mother is very happy when I shave my beard.
He meant
like her
mother.
day.
That's what he meant by women, like his mom and like his like.
My mom is very happy when I shave. But
same dude. I don't know what it is.
It's just like oh, mera bacha. But the respect, genuinely, just to end that part, is you need to be taken seriously. You have to really put yourself out there. Like this was from my case. I don't know, for other people they may need to be, I don't know, more standoffish, or I'm not sure anymore, like how for every case is different. For me, I had to really put myself out there and be serious and ask 1,000 questions as well, and to question what they're doing.
Yeah, of course.
I still do that with him on a daily basis. We debate. Sometimes he's right, sometimes I'm right, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm okay. I'm happy being wrong because you learn something.
I mean, that's what I think. Like, there's this saying, sort of, if you're the stupidest person in any room, which I prefer to be, frankly.
Sometimes,
like, that's where you learn the most. If you're the one talking all the time, you're probably not learning a lot.
I've realized, by the way, I recently, Neelam can vouch for this later if you want to ask. There's this specific thing I've started. I said I'm not going to enter any meeting. Don't ask me anything. I once stayed out of the showroom for 4 hours just for them to do it themselves. Because that's what usually used to happen. Like I'm talking, everyone's listening. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
This time, I'm going to go out. This is the group. This is the plan. Y'all discuss how you want to do this. Thank you very much. And you guys come with me with the feedback about what's happening. Because I know this is a short shot. But I didn't want to be first into it. I'm like, I want the team to build because there's something very with the Abu Dhabi store. Something else I'm going to be planning. Like in the last quarter is going to be crazy for me. In terms of branding, in terms of showroom opening, in terms of brand presence, in terms of an event, everything.
Any big numbers you want to announce on that front?
Big numbers. Like I would say in COVID, we broke even.
Okay.
And
awesome.
That's huge. That is huge.
Do you guys understand the capital that goes into all of this stuff? Breaking even is no joke. It must be in like the millions. I won't ask him to specify.
I'll tell you why, because I was shocked as well. But I realized because of COVID, I feel very bad about COVID definitely. And I'm happy UAE is doing really well with it. So far, so good. People are getting vaccinated and stuff like that. But from my industry, we're doing really well. In terms of people are wanting to change their houses. People are wanting to move out, redecorate. Got bored. 3 months they don't stop. They work from home. They're miserable. They want to change their bathroom. They want to change their tiles. They want to change their furniture. They want to change everything about their house. For some reason, everyone's ready to be like, oh, I need something new in life.
Awesome.
So this industry is booming because of that. And it's also that reason because the freights have increased like crazy. You're getting material. I'm like, guys, I tell my team,
don't take all my money and ship.
Yeah, like that. Imagine I'm telling people no sometimes. I'm like, and I tell my team, I'm like, guys, if you're telling do not commit to some time that you can't deliver.
Yeah.
Please, I'd rather you tell no.
No.
And don't take the order. Don't commit to anything.
Yeah.
Seriously, these are the conversations I'm having sometimes.
Wow.
And yeah,
You've learned a lot from Azhar about Casa Milano, his journey, and sort of all that he's been able to do in such a short amount of time. He's got an amazing team out here. The store is amazing. You have to come down. It's on Sheikh Zayed Road. It's not that far from anywhere, I would say. It's just about center. And I'm coming from Jabal Ali. It's like in the middle of nowhere. So, but yeah, I would say check Azhar out on his socials. He's constantly plugging Casa Milano, so you can check them out on there as well. Anything you want to plug before we wrap?
I am very happy to be on this Chai with CEOs. I in fact love it when somebody tells me for an interview. As much as I was telling him I avoid interviews, I don't mind it. It's just like I feel like there are way better people on the planet than me to do this.
No, that's the same imposter syndrome all the time. Like it happens.
But no, absolutely, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm enjoying seeing Joel after years, and I'm absolutely enjoyed this. I'm not kidding, and I hope everything you're doing. You succeed in it. Simple as that. Like I've been blessed, and thank you always for the support. We always support each other on Instagram. I've seen that in the last 3 years. I haven't seen him, but whatever he's doing, I'm like, respect, man. I used to tell my parents and my younger brother, he's here by the way, he remembers you. So I'm like, dude, Joel's on another level. Like he's killing it somewhere. In Forbes 30 under 30, LSE. He was always the smartest kid in that batch. For some reason, he was competing with his two friends, which I also know personally. I think Dhruv and Riya. They're always competing with each other. Like, okay, I'm going to get 100, and somebody got 99, and they're like, oh my god.
For reference, they're the ones with the jobs, and I'm the one with I guess like the unemployed / entrepreneur kind of thing. Let's see what happens, right?
Everyone's gonna get their time. Trust me.
Yeah. Up that time.
No, but it's as always, you're doing. It's something interesting, by the way. The youngsters love this stuff. It's something to at least be motivated by and learn something. I would say. It's pretty cool.
For sure. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for watching. If you managed to make it till here, you heard about Azhar's new store, heard about his journey here so far, and where he's going next. So stay tuned for the next episode of Try with Startup CEOs. We've got an interesting guest coming up. I won't tell you who he or she is because they might change. So I will, be in touch and stay tuned. Subscribe and like. Oh, I didn't tell them to subscribe and like. Oh well, next time. All right. Take care, guys, and see you in the next one.